I think we'll go ahead and just change our name to HBO because that doesn't seem like a brand anyone else is using right now. So it would make sense, right? Right. Okay. What's going on, everyone? We are the Cinefanatics, and this is the Tagline, the show where the tagline is the title. My name's Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
And yeah, tonight, got some movie news to talk about. Some fun things going on. Whew, how's everyone doing tonight? Let us know if you are here in the chat. Sound off, let us know so we can interact, because we love that fan interaction. That is so much fun. How are you doing tonight, Chris? Coffee. Feel like your Twitch stream. All right.
You took a drink after I took a drink, leaving complete silence on the stream.
At least I didn't take a drink while you were taking a drink, so I did not do it at the same time. You can't blame me for that.
I had liquid in my mouth either way.
Anyways, it's Wednesday night, not Friday night. Calm down, Chris. Anyways, so if you don't want to do like the YouTube things, you know how that goes. Streamlabs.com/Cinefanatics. If you would like to make any kind of a comment, question, anything, that's a good place to do it. Patreon.com/Cinefanatics. If you feel that we are worthy of your support and you have the means, feel free to hop on whatever tier you would like to hop on. Tonight, after the tagline, if you are part of our Maverick tier, we will be heading over to our Discord and we will be doing live movie trivia, Disney edition, in celebration of The Little Mermaid coming out tomorrow. I've made a nice little trivia game full of Disney movie questions. So if you're a big fan of Disney and you're on that Maverick tier, head over there. We're going to have some fun with Disney. So that will be that. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I want to see some of these questions. I think I got some like a good mix of easy questions that anyone who is familiar with movies may know, and then some like you really got to know some classics. So
you just remember in the Emperor's New Groove, you have to beware the groove.
Yes, absolutely.
Got a question. Got it. Nailed it.
Thank you for revealing an answer to a question I did not write.
Cusco. Cusco's poison. Poison Cusco.
Anyways, I do see Jeremy in the chat. Hello, Jeremy. Welcome, sir. What else do we have coming up? So we got the trivia hangout is after the stream tonight. Tomorrow we will have a spoiler-free review for The Little Mermaid up. We are going to go see that tomorrow afternoon. I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, does it really matter?
Spoilers. The ending's probably the same or relatively similar to the cartoon. I'm assuming.
So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction right now. I have not seen the live action Little Mermaid yet. I have not gone to a press screening or anything. So completely blind to the new live action Little Mermaid. Willing to bet Ariel gets Eric in the end, and she also gets her voice back, and Ursula's defeated, and everyone's singing songs, and everyone's so happy. That's pretty much it, yeah.
And the priest gets a boner.
And the priest probably gets a boner. I don't know. Probably not going to see that this time. I would love it if they did. I mean, obviously, they're not going to do anything because that's probably part of like the dark history of Disney, especially Little Mermaid, the priest with the boner. And then, of course, there's also like the dildo looking tower castle thing on the VHS cover. Yeah, I would love it though if there was like a slight but mature nod to it. Like, I don't know what you could do. Like,
I know exactly what you do. I know exactly what you do.
Randy or something.
You have the priest do the wedding, and then as soon as the wedding's over, he turns to like his assistant or whoever, goes, "Need you to watch over this. I need to excuse myself." That's it. That's the line. He just throws the line out there. That's it.
Give me about 5 minutes.
No,
not that 7.
Not that far. Not that far.
But that would be funny, and that would be for like all the adults who grew up with Little Mermaid. Be like, ha ha ha. That's funny.
They're
not going to do that, but that would be a nice little tongue in cheek.
They're not going to do anything at all. Absolutely not.
They're
Anyway, we
fine with
spent
it.
way too much time on this subject.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a very light news week, so I mean, we really only have like 3 stories to get through, sort of. So yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, Little Mermaid review will be up tomorrow evening. And then we have The Marquee is coming this Friday, the 26th. That is going to be live action Disney remakes. In fact, I got a thumbnail. So live action Disney remakes on The Marquee this Friday, the 26th. That is going to be at, I forgot what time we scheduled these before.
We've usually done them about 9:30 our time.
9:30 our time?
So 7:30 Pacific or 10:30 Eastern.
Okay. Yeah, because I get off at 8:30. Okay. So yeah, that will be what he said, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern this Friday. And we'll include both the Peter Pan and Wendy and Little Mermaids. So that should be fun. As a matter of something's got to go in S.
Oh, honestly,
What?
like rewatching some of these or watching some of these, and there'll be S. There'll be an S tier. There'll be some movies in S for sure. They just wouldn't necessarily be S tiers up against other movies, but for this category, they will be S tiers.
Yes. Anyways, I think that's all we really have coming out. I did get a chance to see The Boogeyman last night. So reviews, the social media embargo is open, so we can talk about it on social media. I said a little bit of something on my Twitter last night about it. But as far as actual reviews, that embargo is not up until tomorrow. So I'll probably do a review and I'll post it probably next Wednesday, because I don't know, it doesn't seem like too many people are eager to find out reviews for this movie. So we'll see.
You never know.
Yeah. I'll do a review. I'll do a spoiler-free review, and I'll probably post it Wednesday of next week during the day. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
And then also The Machine comes out this weekend, which I'm kind of interested in seeing. I don't know when, but I'll probably go see it at some point, and then I'll just I might do a review on that after I see that as well. So
The Machine.
The Machine. Yes.
This is The Machine.
That Burt Kreischer movie that if Garth was here, he would also be telling you that Burt Kreischer is who the character of Van Wilder was based off of for the Van Wilder movies, because he's the person who spent so long in college just having a good time and partying instead of actually colleging. So
he would also tell us about that time that Burt Kreischer came to Boston and him and the two of them hung out for a little bit, and he got a beer and Garth got some water.
Water is good, by the way. I'm loving the water tonight.
That also is what I have in this mug. It's not actually coffee, despite the lie that the mug is telling you currently.
Anyways, movies watched over this past week. What have you caught up on, Chris?
Yo, I watched this little movie that came out called Fast X.
Oh, I did too.
Watched a couple of Disney movies for the Marquee. I needed to catch up on both Dumbo and Lady and the Tramp, so watched both of those. You will hear what I think about those during the Marquee and where I'm planning on putting them in the tier ranking. So make sure you're tuning into the Marquee this Friday, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Outside of doing some Harry Potter rewatches to rewatch them again and kind of, see how I feel about them this time. I haven't really watched anything else. No.
Was that it for your live action Disney remake watching? Like, you're all caught up until Little Mermaid tomorrow, right?
I'm all caught up except for Little Mermaid. I do want to rewatch 101 Dalmatians. I will probably do that tonight after trivia, maybe? ? We'll see, depending on the time. Or I might watch it tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, so I rewatched it a couple of nights ago. It holds up very well. It's got a very good 90s nostalgia to it that I really like. So
it's one of those movies like the Georges of the Jungles and all that, which have a very of their time capsule kind of feeling, and it reminds you of a simpler, more gentler more fun, more relaxed age.
Where people shut the hell up and didn't give their opinions on the internet.
Where Twitter didn't exist, YouTube didn't exist, Facebook didn't exist. Gosh darn, nearly all the websites that we go to nowadays didn't exist.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I think I caught up. So I watched up Fast X as well. I caught up with Peter Pan and Wendy, and then I watched The Boogeyman last night. So
The Baba Yaga?
The Baba Yaga. He's in that too. That's what was funny about that.
Do you know the Baba Yaga?
Yeah, David Dasmalchian was in that movie as well, and I was waiting for him like, wait, why is he in the movie called The Boogeyman?
You said he was in that also, and I was like, Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, I know that's what you were thinking, but yeah, that's why I had to quickly clarify. Yeah, David Dasmalchian was in this movie. I was like, anyone else notice the irony of this? Like, and the sad thing is that, like, sorry if this is breaking some form of embargo, but he doesn't say Baba Yaga or any of that stuff from Ant-Man. Like, I wish he did. That would have been
a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
because like
a missed opportunity.
Whatever's happening, a high intense situation or whatever, just like everything's all this stuff going on, and then he just turns to the camera, the Baba Yaga, and then the scene cuts.
Do you know the Baba Yaga? Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
That's a trailer shot that missed the trailer. I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'll talk about more about that movie probably on Wednesday. So,
yep.
Anyways, yeah, we watched Fast X, dropped the review for that. That was a fun movie.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the mood for skipping Little Mermaid and seeing Fast X again.
I understand that feeling. But as someone who did grow up watching like the Disney cartoons, and I am eager for the Little Mermaid. I was eager for the Little Mermaid and Lion King when they first announced those live action remakes, because and Aladdin. Those three are the main three that I really had like ties to my childhood. Like Beauty and the Beast was okay, I guess, but it was those three are the ones that I really focused on. So I've been really excited when those movies come out, and then at least for Aladdin and Lion King, I've been like, so I'm expecting the same thing, but still the ability to sit in the movie theater again and be able to silently sing to myself, where
I'm just saying,
pretty much you're going to be the only person that hears me singing along.
I'm just saying, we could do all of the Disney live action movies up through Peter Pan and Wendy and Fast X on the marquee. Hear me out. Hear me out.
In celebration of The Little Mermaid, we're not going to watch The Little Mermaid.
Listen, people are going to be like, hey, you guys didn't watch The Little Mermaid? What are you all racist? And we're going to be like, no, Fast X was just amazing. We wanted to watch it again.
No. You have to wait for our opinion of the Little Mermaid before you call us racist. Okay?
And then you can call us racist no matter what the opinion is.
We like Halle Bailey. Oh, you're racist. What?
There's just no winning on the internet.
That being said, so yes, we are going to talk a little bit about Fast and the Furious later, hence the thumbnail. I don't want to it might be just slightly spoilerish, not really to story, but there is at least one character that I didn't actually know that this character was in this movie. I remember hearing hints of it, but I didn't know that this character was in this movie. We may bring that character up because it does pertain to the story of the spinoffs. So just heads up on that, and I'll probably say this again before we talk about it, because we'll probably have more people watching by that time.
And look, you may be like, well, that right there gives it away, but understand there's a handful of characters that have been in the Fast and Furious movies that could be the character he's talking about. Hector. He's talking about Hector.
Yeah, there's a ton of characters who, I know you're making a joke, but in all honesty, you're actually correct. There's a ton of characters that were not in this movie. And so real quick, remember, like Dante was saying that he's going to go after everyone who's ever helped them. everyone who's ever helped. That's like going all the way back to the first Fast and the Furious movie. Whereas like those people that were a part of Dom's team back then, like what's his name? Is it Jesse or whatever? The kid that got scared at race wars and then drove the vehicle away.
Pretty sure he died.
Did he die?
Pretty sure he got shot right in front of Dom's house.
Okay. Yeah, when they came by with the motorbikes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Other than him, in which he may have died, but I mean, these movies are damn near comic book movies now, and no one who died is probably staying dead.
I'm waiting for you to be like, so then back. Of course they're going to go after Vince. I'm going to be like, no, can't do that one either.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a good handful. We'll talk about that some more here in a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, let's actually get into the movie news. Where is my video? There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen,
good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
All that Fast X talk leads us to the box office. Can we guess what the number one movie in the box office is? Actually, you know what? It'd be a better game if we tried to guess what the number 10 movie in the box office is.
That would be that Hypnotic movie.
No, that one's actually number 8.
Oh, it's still in the top 10.
It is.
It's hanging in there. Okay. I don't know.
We're just gonna scatter. We're gonna scatter through the box office here. We're just gonna plug the pieces in random order. All right. So number 4 is number 1 in the box office this week. Obviously, is Fast X. I mean, come on. It's a Fast and Furious movie. It does not open at anything but number 1, even when it's up against a Marvel movie. Granted, that Marvel movie's been out for now 3 weeks, so it's to be expected. Though it's why studios, they plan according to what everyone else's release schedule is. They see these numbers, they see these things. They're seeing Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out. Okay, we're going to release Fast X 2 weeks later. That's going to be enough time for them.
I like this fun like game that the box office is now starting to do every week. And we've mentioned this before, is that the number 1 movie each week has someone who was in the number 1 movie the previous week. So, like, for example, we started with Mario with Chris Pratt. Mario was number 1. Then Guardians with Chris Pratt was number 1. Then Guardians with Vin Diesel is number 1. Now we've got Fast X with Vin Diesel is number 1. I want to see this keep going. Like, how long is this like 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon type of chain gonna go with these box office movies?
I don't know. Is there anyone in Fast X who's in Little Mermaid? Also, is Little Mermaid going to be number 1?
I mean, unless Melissa McCarthy was helping Dante or something. I mean, technically, you got Aquaman was in there too. So I don't know.
That's just the biggest possible stretch you can do, because he's not in Little Mermaid.
Jacob Tremblay, Aquafina, Daveed Diggs. No,
I don't think anyone in Little Mermaid's in Fast X.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be probably some random background person that we're just not thinking of.
You said technically Aquaman is in Fast X, and I know you were talking about Jason Momoa, but my brain thought Alan Ritchson, because he was definitely Aquaman in Smallville.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. There were 2 Aquamen in Fast X. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
What was the other thing we were thinking? Like, man, this movie has like 3 people from such and such in it. I forgot what that was.
I can't remember.
I don't know if we were thinking like MCU or
maybe. It's possible. Anyway, Fast X is number 1. Opened with 67 million domestically, which feels like a small number actually for a Fast and Furious opening.
Yeah.
But given that it's the 10th one, maybe we shouldn't be surprised. I don't know at this point. What's the worldwide? Let me look at the worldwide real quick. Worldwide is currently sitting at about $348.5 million. So that seems about right. That seems about right for a solid opening worldwide for Fast X. We know the numbers are going to only grow. This movie's going to have a little bit of legs for a little while, or wheels, I guess.
I think audiences generally, I think, are starting to really get burnt out on that franchise. Like we said in the review, 8 and 9 8 had some really good moments to it. It still felt like a Fast and Furious movie. F9, I don't feel like feels like a Fast and Furious movie. There's something about it that is just completely detached from the rest of the series, and it just
felt like an episode of a soap opera.
Yeah, it truly did. Like, it's just so weird. Like, I want to say it was the whole like brother out of nowhere with Jacob Toretto, but.
And then you're sending Tyrese and Ludacris into space, which seems silly.
Yeah, it just does not feel like it. Fast X did feel like it was a part of the Fast and Furious franchise, and it felt like a welcome return to the Fast and Furious franchise. So I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, but yeah, I very much enjoyed that.
So number 1, Fast X. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with another 32, almost 32.5 million. Currently, total gross domestically for that one's about 266.9 million. So, yeah, MCU's got some low numbers right now. Like, yeah, 200 and something million is like, why are we saying that's low numbers? Well, comparatively speaking to other things, that feels very low. We're 3 weeks in. This time last Guardians movie, I'm pretty sure they were probably at roughly nearing about $500 million. Domestically, I would imagine.
Well, also 200 something.
Yes, I can't remember.
200 something million is probably pretty close to the movie's actual budget as well.
Yeah. Now, see, that one's a little bit different because worldwide, we're sitting over $500 million. We're at 667 million worldwide. So, when you take into consideration the worldwide box office, which you have to when you're looking at the total gross a movie can make, that one's doing well over budget. It's doing fine. It just feels for the trilogy capper for Guardians of the Galaxy, a well-beloved franchise within the MCU, and being a MCU movie that does feel a little low with that domestic number, but who knows? We'll see. I think it'll definitely hit over 300 million. I mean, it'll probably be there this next weekend, honestly.
Yeah.
Number 3, we got the Super Mario Brothers movie. So yes, we have the Vin Diesel, Chris Pratt trifecta in the top 3 right now. Currently 7 weeks in, sitting at the number 3 spot. Fantastic. Number 4, we've got Book Club, the next chapter. Yeah. Number 5 is Evil Dead Rise. So listen, Evil Dead Rise still in the top 5, been out for 5 weeks now.
And is also available digitally at home as well. So
I do think we will start seeing that, start rapidly dropping down the food chain here come this next week when The Little Mermaid opens too. Not that those two movies are directly competing with each other, because they're not. But because it's available for home viewing and we're getting other movies that are going to be hitting that number 1 spot, pushing everything that's been number 1 down and down.
Hey, what would you like to take the kids to go see? Little Mermaid or Evil Dead? Which one? I'm so puzzled.
I'm thinking John Wick Chapter 4, which is your number 6 movie this week. And
that one's crazy that's still in the top 10.
Oh, nah. It's John Wick. I'm not surprised. Number 7, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Number 8 is Hypnotic, like I said earlier. Number 9, Love Again. And number 10, still sitting at number 10 from last week, which is actually pretty impressive, given it's been out for 8 weeks now, Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your top 10. Also, Blackberry apparently has been out for 2 weeks and is at the number 12 spot. I just wanted to mention that one because, like Tetris and Air before it, these movies about actual like products of some sort, created by a company. It's like a whole like corporate movie over a product of some sort.
Been really popular lately.
It's been really popular, but Blackberry.
Well, there was that. Did you see that trailer for Flaming Hot? That was like the making of the Flaming Hot flavor
Cheetos?
for Cheetos.
That's a joke, right?
No, they actually made it. They're making a movie about that. That is a real movie.
Are we gonna have to do a Flaming Hot watch next?
So what we're gonna do is a marquee where we're tier ranking just movies about products.
We probably could actually do that.
Yeah, there's actually probably enough. Like, we're just talking about the ones that have just come out within the past like month or two or so, and that's already like what, 5 movies over the past month or two that have come out.
Do we consider Ford v Ferrari that?
I mean, technically, because it was in the process of building the well, it wasn't about building the Shelby. It was
about Ford.
It was about building the brand
Ferrari.
of Ford, and then the Shelby was the vehicle that was named after Shelby later on. I could see it as probably about Ford. That would make sense.
I want to do that one because I want to do it S tier.
Yeah.
Speaking of S tier movies,
I literally go nowhere without them.
So good.
it's just a really good intro. I mean, it's just honestly like, yeah, like I put work into it. It's great. I love where the beat stops with Ryan Gosling holding up the rollerblades, and listen, this bit's been going on way too long. This movie needs to hurry up and come out.
I literally go nowhere without them.
Anyway.
I just like watching the numbers of like who's watching us. The numbers increase while the Barbie Watch intro is playing.
Listen,
I'm like, if you're someone who has not seen us before and you happen to be clicking on us and you're like the one of the couple of people that just clicked on while that was playing, hi.
Hey, look, like I said, put some work into that. My milkshake brings all the viewers to the yard.
It does. It absolutely
and they're like,
does.
Hell yeah, Barbie Watch.
So real quick before we move on, I do see like Tim Franco in the chat saying Blackberry is actually damn good. I've heard this. A lot of people saying that it's really good.
Is it only in theaters or is it on like a streaming service somewhere?
I want to say it's just a streaming service. I don't think I've seen it in theaters. But like that's been the thing with these product movies that have been coming out lately. They've all been good. Air is phenomenal. Tetris was really good.
Our company's starting to realize that they can make an 1.5 to 2 hour commercials and basically plop us down in front of them and just market it to us for that entire time.
Yeah. Like now I want to see movie. I need something that's more food related. I know we were talking about the Flaming Hot Cheetos, whatever movie. I want to see a movie like the first time pizza was created or hamburger. Who was the first person to really learn how to properly cook a steak? I want to see the development of that. Like that is the movie I want to see next.
Can I get the movie over the hair raising tale, the thriller between the founders of Chili's and Applebee's and their race to getting their restaurant onto the market first?
Yeah.
And then TGI Fridays swoops in and goes.
I had another one too, and I forgot what. Oh yeah, I want to see a movie about the creation of the George Foreman grill. Oh, wait. Anyways, moving on. Tim says it's showing at the Loft, the best theater in the world. I'm jealous because I keep hearing about this Loft theater in Arizona, and I keep seeing all of our friends that are posting about it. It's a good looking theater, and we're in the town known for the Alamo Drafthouse that should be doing the same kind of shows, but it doesn't.
I think they do. I just don't know if we keep in tune with what's going on with Alamo Drafthouse that well.
Or at least not the Alamo Drafthouse that's over here by where we live. I know like the one off South Lamar is probably the more famous one for doing all the shows because that's like where the Fantastic Fest is going to be at, and like South by they do a lot of screenings there.
It's just really hard to get into like what's going on with Alamo Drafthouse when the theater we have has the seats that recline all the way back.
Yeah. So the theater we typically go to has the nice, relaxing recliners, while the Alamo Drafthouse that's right by where we live does not.
Yeah, no, that doesn't do nothing.
And I would like to go to it because it's closer and more easily accessible. But the other thing too, though, is like the movies at that draft house are always sold out. Like, was it the Across the Spider-Verse tickets went on sale? All those showings for that first day are all sold out already. While our theater that we typically go to, maybe a quarter of those seats have been sold. So there's a lot of people that in Austin that just go to the Alamo Drafthouse because it's the Austin thing to do. You go to the Alamo Drafthouse, even if it's not the comfiest seats. Suckers.
Those of us who live here, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. People visit LA and they're like, we got to go to the Hollywood Boulevard. Like, sure, everyone can go down there once just to say that they've gone down there, but honestly, at the same time, it's like people in Los Angeles, they don't give a flying flip about Hollywood Boulevard. They try honestly to stay the hell away from there as much as possible. Likewise, all the things that tourists think about Austin, we who live here don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to Franklin's barbecue every other weekend.
Hold up. I would actually love to go visit that place as much as possible, except for
sure
we can wait. But
yeah, if it wasn't for all the tourists that are actually hanging out for like 5-6 hours before.
But yeah, no, like I'm not going down to 6th Street. I don't care about 6th Street.
Yeah.
So I don't go to Draft House. Why? Because we found a theater we like better that is more comfy and serves honestly kind of better food.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, unless Alamo Drafthouse wants to sponsor our channel, in which case,
go Alamo.
Let's go Alamo. Woohoo!
Anyways, so let's turn this a little bit serious for a minute. Over this past week, a beloved Hollywood star has unfortunately passed away. It was announced a couple of days ago that Rick Dalton, star of tons of movies and TV shows, namely a very strong career in spaghetti western movies and TV shows like the one that I forgot to look up that he was in that was really famous for, Bounty Law. Famous for shows like Bounty Law. The actor unfortunately has passed away, I believe. I don't know how old he was when he passed away. So I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Rick Dalton fan. I mean, I know he's got a legacy to him and whatnot, but I just never really gotten into a lot of his stuff.
Listen, some people say that honestly he was a generation and a half ago. He was their Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, we have Leonardo DiCaprio now. He was the Leonardo DiCaprio of that day and age.
I could see that.
Which is, you know, a mighty nice thing to say about him.
Yeah.
Or would you say that Leonardo DiCaprio is today's Rick Dalton? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. He definitely strikes me as an actor that puts his heart and soul into it. Constantly does not get recognized enough by the Academy. Again, like, I'm not too much into his movies and TV shows and whatnot, but I know of the guy, just like I know of Leonardo DiCaprio. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of Leonardo DiCaprio movies I really like. I love Wolf of Wall Street. Titanic is classic. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is great as well. But like, I'm not a huge Leonardo DiCaprio fan.
Yeah.
Just a small handful. I'm even less of a Rick Dalton fan. I mean, yeah, like the couple of movies he did that Bounty Law TV show, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was okay. But I mean, like, I'm just ultimately not like a super huge fan. But yeah, our thoughts and well wishes go out to both him and his family.
I'd like to also check in on his stuntman.
What was his stuntman? Was that was Cliff, right?
Cliff? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the stuntmen don't get enough recognition where we just forget the stuntmen's names. And this is what I'm saying. Like, they need to do more with the stuntman. Like, I want to check back in with him, see how he's doing.
What was the stuntman? Cliff Booth.
Yeah,
that's right.
Cliff Booth. The only reason that we even bring him up is because, like, he's kind of.
Was he a part of that?
Yeah. He was in the news after that whole ordeal. So I really want to check in and see like where his mental state's at. You know, is he still doing okay? I mean, he's obviously significantly older now, but you know,
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, wishes go out to them and whatnot. And this was such a stupid segment.
Yeah.
Now
you opened with that, and
now
we have
to
move
pivot,
on. And now we have to move on.
and to be in all seriousness with the real ones. So in all seriousness, so that apparently that was some kind of joke that Quentin Tarantino released saying that Rick Dalton had passed away.
Yeah.
Again, not a huge Rick Dalton fan, so I just really didn't follow the news on it. But like for like one whole day, like all of Twitter was all about how great Rick Dalton was, which is fantastic. I love when when the social media just feeds into the joke like that. I think it's so much fun. But
yeah.
Now in reality, a couple of days ago, we did hear about the passing of Ray Stevenson, which he was 58.
This sucks.
Yeah. So looking at his career, he's had like a couple of good, like I know off the top of our heads, obviously Volstagg from the Thor movies, which he was phenomenal in.
Yep.
And then of course, probably the best Punisher, I would say. Not the best Punisher movie, unfortunately, but he had a really good presence in Punisher Warzone. So really liked his portrayal of the Punisher in that. Recently he was in like RRR. He's going to be, he has like a guest starring role in Ahsoka coming up.
He's got a significant role in Ahsoka.
Okay. Yeah. So, thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. And then there's also one more that was just announced today. The passing of Tina Turner. This one is huge.
Yeah. This is, she's an icon. She is a major icon.
Yeah, and while she is mostly known for music, I mean, we definitely see like a lot of her influences in movies. She has done a couple of movies as well, notably like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. And she's also known for her music in the movies, like We Don't Need Another Hero is used a lot. Or then there was also the movie that was like a biopic of her life, What's Love Got to Do with It, by starring Angela Bassett, who, if I remember correctly, I want to say won the Oscar for that. Did she win an Oscar for that?
I don't think Angela Bassett's won an Oscar. I think that was one of the big deals over her being nominated for Wakanda Forever.
Let me double check, because I could have sworn she did. Or she was at least nominated. She won a Golden Globe for it.
Yeah. Because I think Halle Berry is the first African American female.
She was nominated for Best Actress for it, but she did not win. She did win the Golden Globe for Best Actress in Musical or Comedy.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, Tina Turner's passing is that one's sad too. Both of them obviously, death is it's a natural part of life. We're all going to die someday. Tina Turner lived a fuller life, of course. Ray Stevenson, way too young at 58, way too young. But obviously we leave behind when we pass, we leave behind friends, family, all that stuff. So, our thoughts are with the families and friends of both Ray Stevenson and Tina Turner. And of course, everybody who was touched by either of them, whether it's Ray Stevenson's body of work or Tina Turner's large, iconic body of work, everyone who was touched by what they did. So,
yeah. Anyways, so moving on from that, so next news story is the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny premiered at the Cannes Film Festival. And so we've got a couple of reviews have already started pouring in.
Oh boy.
And right now,
oh boy,
as of this moment, it has a 50% critics on the tomato meter out of 38 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, okay. So again, we're going back to the subject real quickly of critics reviews versus audience. And there's usually a huge disparity in beloved movie franchises like this. Now, probably not so much with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It sounds like everyone was just about correct on that one. But this is going to be kind of hard to understand. And like this is one I think I want to see the audience score, because I think your audience is generally going to get the basic idea of what this movie is bringing more than a critic, I would say. And the reason I say that is because I know critics are always looking at movies critically. How does this fit? Cinematography, the sound, the music, the acting, the story, the script, all of that. While audiences generally go to a movie just to see if they enjoy it. Did you enjoy the movie? Did you not enjoy it? So that's the two different levels of thinking, and that's why there's usually like such a huge difference between the audience and the critic scores. Not saying any one of them is actually weighted heavier than the others. It just really depends on your viewpoint. But yeah, 50% on there.
I'm looking, and it looks like most of the critics on here are people that I don't pay attention to or follow their opinion at all.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that people need to take into consideration. You always need to take this in consideration when following a critic, which is follow the critics. I believe we should be following the critics that... Let me backtrack. We should follow critics, that speak to the same kind of taste level that we have in film. And then we should also tune in with, at least, maybe you don't have to follow them, but at least tune in with some critics every now and then who don't necessarily agree with your taste in film, just so you can get like a rounded idea of different people's thoughts and kind of see how they analyze movies and all of that. Given that none of these people are people that I follow specifically, I might tune in just to kind of hear what their thoughts are on the movie at some point. I typically don't like reading a lot of critic stuff before I see a movie. I do like to kind of make up my own mind when I watch a movie. But at the same time, there are people that we know. There are critics that we know in the space who obviously that we've had the, privilege of being able to talk to face to face, have been able to hang out with and listen to, kind of their thoughts over the years on what they think of movies. Those are the people that I will probably go to kind of get my more well-rounded idea of what we think about the movie. None of those people have seen the movie yet. So, and that also brings up what you were saying too, is like, I also want to see the audience score for the Rotten Tomatoes too. Not that I ever really weigh too much on Rotten Tomatoes specifically, but it is an interesting aggregate of everyone's opinions.
Well, so to go on, piggyback off of your point with like you're listening to critics, I add one extra layer to it. Is you go to a critic that not only may watch or has the same kind of sensibilities as you do watching a movie, like they connect to a movie the same way I would. I would also add in going to specific critics for a specific type of movie. For example, I'm not going to say names or anything. I'll use The Boogeyman, for example. Press screenings came out last night. There are people that we know in the critic space. I saw one where the person very much enjoyed The Boogeyman, said it was a great, creepy movie, enjoyed it, highly recommend it. But this was a critic who I respect this person's opinion, but this person is not known for horror movies. They are not an avid follower of horror movies. So I don't necessarily like lean on or trust their opinion. I trust their opinion on like other movies, but not necessarily horror movies. If you were to, for horror specifically, like for this movie, Boogeyman, I want to hear people who I know of in the horror space. I want to hear Perry's opinion of it. I want to hear Sean Chandler, Cody Leach, people that are known for liking and enjoying and having an eye for horror. I want to know their opinions. So those are the people I flock to for that kind of information. But yeah, like that's something I keep in mind as well. Like, cool, you like the movie. You don't watch horror though, so
yeah.
Grain of salt.
No one's coming to our channel at any point, and will never be coming to our channel at any point to hear me speak on a horror movie.
Exactly. Yeah. If you want to know a horror movie opinion on this channel, you're coming to me because I love horror movies. So,
yeah, I'm also just never gonna speak on a horror movie unless it's like one of those easier ones that are more accessible for folks like me, like the Get Outs or the Us's or the Warm Bodies, if you even really want to consider that horror.
Or the Boogeyman.
I guess.
You can watch it.
I'm also probably never going to watch the Boogeyman just because disinterest. So there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reviewers who saw Indiana Jones 5 or Dial of Destiny, I should say. Again, we're also talking about like this being at the Cannes Festival. So Cannes. We're talking about this being at that festival, which is people have been talking about this. It's not known to be very favorable towards the big summary action franchise blockbuster type movies that Indiana Jones does fall under because. Listen, do you live under a rock? I mean, come on. Everybody knows the name Indiana Jones.
Most of your film festivals like that do not cater to big blockbusters. Like I could see like a slight argument for South by.
South by you could get away with it,
but like Cannes or Sundance,
these festivals that have been around for decades now and are very much about the cinematic experience and all that stuff.
Even CinemaCon leads more towards big blockbuster, or TIFF. Even
these other ones are not necessarily geared for or have the audience or the critic audience for an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
So I would wait. I know a lot of people are like, "Whoop, the reviews are so bad already," but like, I would put the brakes on, and be like, "This is not a sign of anything." This is just a sign of they probably just had the wrong audience or they just weren't the right audience for that movie, which I think is still a fair thing to say when you're talking about critics. Sometimes a critic can be right as they critique the art form of film, but also at the same time, something can be critiqued harshly in terms of its art, but also be for a completely different crowd. I don't think, a lot of people were saying that the Super Mario Brothers movie, as an example, weak on story, kind of a flat movie, what have you. Fine, but for a different crowd, that movie is banging. Kids love the movie. Us who have grown up with the Mario games enjoyed it. We loved sitting there like, look, we know it's a thin story. You're never gonna get a really deep story out of Mario, and I know some people might have a problem with that being an excuse, but whatever. It was a fun movie and it was meant for certain audiences. It's not all movies are for all audiences, is what we're saying. So
yeah,
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny might not be for the audience of critics who saw it there. It sure as hell might be for me though, because Mangold directing this movie, I mean, it's set up for success. It really is.
It sounds like that should be straight in his wheelhouse by now. And it sounds like it should be a perfect combination for making a good movie. Yeah. So William Harold says, I trust Mangold more than snooty people at cons that want to applaud Scorsese's new movie for longer than its runtime. That's true. Killers of the Flower Moon had a 9-minute standing ovation, which, I mean, very hyperbole here, but like 9 minutes is still a long time.
That's not hyperbole. People brought sleeping bags and they were falling asleep there.
Huh?
They had the first, literally, Killers of the Flower Moon had the first ever sleeping ovation. 2 days. 2 days sleeping ovation.
It does sound like that's going to be a really good movie, though. So, doesn't that movie star? Wasn't that Rick Dalton's last movie? No, that was Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie. Never mind.
Listen, if you read right here, this word is not what's in the cup; it's water.
It's also I do not have an Oasis in my cup. Oasis is a restaurant.
Great joke, hilarious.
That's great. Anyway, so yeah, that's definitely one. Like as the reviews from like the audience comes out, I'm willing to bet those are going to be much higher. Also, yeah, kind of like what you said, none of the critics that we know or follow were the critics that have given an opinion on this. So I do want to hear from the people who I do follow, who I do trust their opinions on. I want to get their opinion and their review of it as well.
And then also, I just want to see the movie and make up my own damn mind.
There's that also, yes.
Because I will be doing that.
I do. So I still need to watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which I will be doing on Disney Plus when all the Indiana Jones movies drop on the 31st. So here in about a week or so.
I actually do want to rewatch that one again too.
Do you really though?
I do. I want to give it another try because we know several people who, despite the fact that I was like not a big fan of it the first time I watched it, we know several people who are like, it's actually still fun. And so I kind of want to give it another fair shake. See if I still hold the same opinion that a lot of people do, which is I do want to see how I feel about it now.
Yeah. And then let's move on to the main topic, Fast and Furious spinoffs. So I said this a little while earlier. We'll try to keep this as spoiler free for Fast X. There is like one particular character that we'll probably talk about here in a minute. That is kind of a surprise for Fast X, so just I guess be prepared for that. But otherwise, Zach, I'm not going to try to like really reveal like any story spoilers for Fast X. So it was announced that they're definitely going to be making more spinoffs. I mean, obviously we've already had Hobbs and Shaw. William Harold spinoffs or drift offs. That's a good one. Yeah, they're even though like kind of like what we've been saying this whole time, it's time for this franchise to end. The studios have no intention of letting this money-making machine end. I mean, even though if it's not pulling in the size of the audience that it might have, say, like around Fast 5 or Furious 6 or whatever they called it, I don't know. But even though you don't have that audience, you still have a good amount of audience. People still love these characters. Again, back to our opinion of Fast X, I feel like we are back in the Fast and Furious franchise with this movie. We liked it. We really liked it. So it's a nice return to form for this franchise. I'm eager for Fast 11 now. There's no way they're going to let this stop. They're going to spin it off. I mean, obviously, we should be getting a Hobbs and Shaw 2. Very likely that's going to be happening. So I guess it was Vin Diesel that was talking about this, and he was saying that there are plans for spin-offs, but not until the main movie saga is done. Not until they officially cap it off with either Fast 11 or if they do move forward with doing a Fast 12.
Side note, you think that's Vin Diesel trying to shove it into The Rock's face going like, haha, you're not getting a sequel for Hobbs and Shaw until we're done?
I would say yes if it wasn't for the fact that Dwayne Johnson obviously is back in the main franchise again as well. So
wait, what? I didn't hear about this before seeing the movie.
No, you didn't. And how you avoided this, even though it was all over social media for like at least a week before the movie, I have no idea how you avoided that.
It's a Christmas miracle in May.
Yeah. Then there's also obviously they're talking about doing a spin-off of just all the women of Fast and Furious, which is cool. That Fast and Furious franchise has some badass women in it.
Oh, you know what they should do real quick? What they should do is they should spin off for the women, but then also bring in Zoe Saldana so she could be a part of another big
another franchise like that. Yeah. I don't know like necessarily like what they could do or what women from the franchise could spin off. I do feel like there's a nice little group that seems to be forming, at least coming off of Fast X. And here's the little spoiler character thing. I like the grouping of who all was it? Was that Letty, Cypher, and Giselle? Like getting the three of them together, that is going to be just those three. That's a badass movie right there. Bring back in Mia again, kind of back to what you've talked about before, is how do you get Mia in without acknowledging Brian?
This makes more sense because if it's an all-female movie, Brian doesn't need to be a part of it.
Sure, but it's still a matter of, like, take yourself out of the movie realm. In real world, how do you do that? Like, it's fine if all the women want to get together and have their women's day outing or get together or book club or whatever you want to call it, but
wow,
how do you do that without acknowledging Brian's existence? It's really odd.
Women's day book. That's gonna get clipped out.
The book club.
Wow.
I didn't know what else to say. Like, I know we got like guys' night. What, ladies' night? Sure, that works.
Ladies' night. Yeah. No, I mean, you're gonna have them. Obviously, you're gonna have Tess because she's a part of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just a solid grouping you can pull in there. I mean, what's her name? Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
Ramsey. Yeah.
Which
anyway.
I do want to see her in a lot more stuff. Thank you.
Yes. Anyway. Yeah. No. I think you do just get Mia without Brian. I mean, by all means, I think you get Letty here without Dom, but also at the same time, like after 11, possibly 12 movies, does Michelle Rodriguez want to keep doing fast movies after that? I mean, given her thoughts clearly on Marvel movies, apparently, according to an extra interview, does she really want to return back to a big franchise like this?
Well, I don't know. What was her opinion of Marvel movies? I didn't hear this.
There was just a soundbite clip that people have had on Twitter of her going, "Gosh, what are we doing with all these Marvel movies? There's nowhere else. There's nowhere for us to go now. Like, how many of these can you make? Jeez." And everyone's like, "Ma'am.
Read a comic book."
Ma'am, you have been in 10, maybe 9, maybe 8 Fast and Furious movies. You've been in a franchise that's been, multiple decades. What are you talking about, these Marvel movies? You're in basically a Marvel movie at this point."
Yeah.
It's funny. It was just a funny offhand comment, but at the same time,
there's more of a direction for the comic book movies than there are the Fast and Furious. Every time they make a Fast and Furious movie, I have no idea what direction they could go with it, and they somehow manage to go somewhere with them. While the comic book movies, at least we know the comic book origins.
It's also a whole like side issue, but like you could do a whole lot with the Marvel movies. I mean, there's so many different stories and different kinds of stories that you can tell and that they have told, and they've done a great job with them. So, I mean, I don't know. I think people need to. I need people to stop giving their comments on Marvel movies in interviews and stuff. Stop asking and stop giving comments, please. Just let it. It's part of it. It's part of Hollywood now. Deal with it.
Stop giving comments and just sit quietly and hope that one day you get called to be in them, because that's a massively huge franchise and you should be lucky to have any kind of a part of it at all whatsoever. So just wait patiently. Also, it'll happen. They're going to run out of people.
It's also a great paycheck.
Yeah.
Unless
you're a VFX artist. Anyways.
Wow.
Or Victoria Alonso.
Anyway, yeah. I think the issue that people might have with a female Fast and Furious spinoff is I would take it seriously. I would love to watch that movie. I would watch that movie. I would be in the theater for that movie. I also enjoyed Ocean's 8. I thought it was actually a good movie. Mm-hmm. I think these movies are doable. I want to see an A-Force movie in the MCU. I think these movies are very doable, and I think they should definitely happen.
What I don't want to see.
What I don't know about is whether or not general audiences have gotten their brains yet to be able to get behind these kinds of movies.
Well, let's focus it even more. The internet's not ready for this. You're not old enough. You're not mature enough to handle
Twitter.
Yeah, specifically the kind of internet that's on Twitter. You're not mature enough to handle this. The idea of this movie. All you're going to do is complain, and we don't want to do that anymore.
It's the fact that a movie with all guys starring, like, this is again, we're on like different tangents tonight, but a movie with all men, perfectly fine. Movie with all women, woke garbage.
Yeah.
That's what people will say. That's what people will say on the internet. And like, honestly, why? Women are humans too. Why is one group of humans passable and another group of humans not? Like, we're in 2023. What are we doing?
As a side note, I would like to say I can't wait to give a review for the Little Mermaid movie tomorrow. I'm going to have a blast with this.
I'm so looking forward to that as well. My sarcasm is less ham-fisted.
Yeah. I've seen this through like a lot of people who are critiquing or reviewing movies. Not a single one of them is happy to have to do a review for The Little Mermaid.
Because the internet's a volatile, stupid, tribalistic, and reactionary place.
Yeah. So once again, going back, for giving an opinion on something like artistic like this, sure, everyone has different thoughts, feelings, opinions, backgrounds, viewpoints. We welcome them all.
Yeah.
Even if you're kind of coming from a trashy place, let's at least understand your trashy place you come from, and maybe you connect with someone else that comes from a trashy place. I don't know. But this someone who critiques movies should not have to be in fear of what the audience is going to think. You give your opinion, hopefully you're giving a full honest opinion. You shouldn't have to be in fear of like how people are going to react to it. Like, oh, you're a Disney shill, or oh, you're just a woke whatever. Like, which direction are we going to go with this? So
to answer your question, Garth, I think it'll have legs for a good chunk of the movie, but the other parts of the movie it'll be just swimming along.
Garth, I can't wait to see you in the Patreon trivia here in a little bit. That was like the most badass knuckle cracking I've ever done, and I don't know if that picked up on the microphone.
Oh, I heard it.
that was like the coolest, most tough boy knuckle crack I think I've ever done my entire life.
Also a really weird time to have a tough boy knuckle crack, but sure.
Sure.
Garth. Disney trivia.
About your puns.
Let's do it. Crack, crack, crack. I'm gonna crush your skull with some Beauty and the Beast questions.
Be prepared. Anyways,
anyway, Fast and Furious spinoffs.
Yeah, I'm down for an all female Fast and Furious spinoff. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what story they could do with that. What is a story that could lend itself? Like Ocean's 8. Go back to Ocean's 8 for a second. I kind of understand because they killed off Danny Ocean, supposedly. And it was Debbie, and she's just recruiting her friends. Just so happens to be that none of her friends were guys. And that's fine. That makes logical sense outside of a movie world, a movie universe where the universe is created by a script. That would make sense.
We are now starting to live in a women supporting women world instead of women being pitted against each other.
So I compare that to go back to Avengers. Let's say Endgame is probably the better use of it. The shot during the final battle where all the women in this entire fight all happen to be in the one spot. It seemed very forced. I'm not complaining about that they're doing this to highlight it, but it just doesn't make sense in a real world situation.
Acknowledge my joke. It was a-forced.
A-force, yes. They were forced. They were a-force. Good one. Yeah, they were seemingly all put there. That doesn't work. That doesn't make sense in the real world. So it's stuff like that I feel like kind of takes you out of the movie. While again, Ocean's 8, I felt like it was pretty natural. Now let's go back to the confines of the Fast and Furious movies. How do you bring all these badass women together without any kind of an acknowledgement of the other guys that are still alive and could potentially contribute to whatever it is they're doing. I don't know how this... Now, I don't write scripts for a living, obviously. Otherwise, I'd be on strike right now. But...
Here's the thing. A good writer could write that story. And a good writer you need to pay. So, there you go.
And that's... Exactly. And I think that's the point I'm actually trying to make here is I don't know what story that could be, but I'm not a writer. I do love the fact that it's going to be up to someone else, and I am equally excited to see what their idea is because I can't fathom anything.
So, the other thing, too, is that when we're talking about spinoffs for Fast and Furious, what other spinoffs can there be? I mean, I could watch a more like introspective series of films featuring Han in the lead. Like just Han just on his own adventures. Just Han going solo is what I'm saying. I want movies of that. I just stumbled into that one, by the way. No, but seriously, I wouldn't mind those movies.
So for Han specifically, I want to see him like start a YouTube channel where he just visits different countries and tries food. He seems like one of those like food vloggers that you would want to see and be interested in. And
absolutely.
In fact, if he could team up with Brad Pitt at some point, that'd be great.
So yeah, that'd be great. Like I could watch a movie of like his like journey of self-discovery and whatnot. Maybe someone else is involved in that. I really don't want to say names again. But maybe someone else is involved in that movie too. Of course, we obviously do need a sequel to Hobbs and Shaw because they set it up to have a sequel. We got to dive more into what is Ryan Reynolds' character actually up to, because there's some funny business going on there. So we need to reinvestigate that again. Also, I need someone to make sense of Idris Elba's superpowered character being in this world of no explicit superpowers, but like maybe people have super durability, probably,
yeah,
and super brains, super smarts.
In a world where we're pushing the boundaries of what technology can do with the God's eye, one man will get black Superman powers.
We're batting 1,000 on the show tonight.
Garth is saying, and I did forget about this. They actually did. I think it was it Better Luck Tomorrow that they actually named him Han Solo, basically.
Yeah.
I do like that they did. There was that callback to that in Fast X as well, where Han says like, "Oh well, better luck tomorrow," and I'm like, ha 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 ha. That was a good joke.
Also, yes, this is roughly what I was alluding to.
Ryan Reynolds is the big bad. Oh, that's right. Yeah. In Hobbs and Shaw. I need to go back and watch that again.
But I mean, it's set up for that.
Yeah. I want to go back and watch Hobbs and Shaw again.
Especially, how are they going to do it with that storyline going through still, while also simultaneously dealing with the fact that Hobbs is back in the main franchise dealing with the Dante of it all too. So I don't know.
And I need them to go and figure out the massive cliffhanger from the end of Hobbs and Shaw. How did they develop the technology that makes the sun rise in a matter of minutes?
Yes.
I want to know where that... we got the God's Eye. We got black Superman powers over here. How do you make the sun go from pitch black, Vin Diesel, get it, to high noon within 4 minutes?
Listen, the world is just very different in Samoa, apparently.
That's still my favorite part of that movie. Anyways.
It's you know, you go from 5 a.m. to high noon in 9 minutes, and you know, it's impressive. It's very impressive.
I love that. Anyways, I guess that's gonna do it for Tagline tonight. That was all the movie news, y'all. Again, slow news week, but anyways, so right after we're done with this, if you are a part of our Patreon at the Maverick tier, come over to our Discord, in the voice queue. We're going to be hanging out doing some movie trivia. If you like Disney movies, this is going to be a good trivia for you tonight because we're going to be testing those Mickey Mouse ears of yours to see if they are full of Disney knowledge. I don't know why all the Disney knowledge would be in your Mickey Mouse ears or if you even have Mickey Mouse ears. And at this point, I'm just rambling.
I
But
would
it's
say
still
you
gonna be a
guys.
fun time anyways.
I would say you guys come jump in the voice chat as soon as the show was over. We'll probably get the trivia started in about 15 minutes.
Or so. Yeah. Anyways, otherwise, yeah, stuff coming up again tomorrow. Be looking forward to our Little Mermaid review because man, we're so looking forward to reviewing that movie. Anyway,
Plus,
so
out
that
of theater reaction immediately following us watching it.
Oh yeah, we'll do that too. So that'll be out of theater reaction here on our YouTube channel in the shorts section, and then the review will be up later tomorrow night, Friday at 7:30 Pacific. 10:30 Eastern, we will be doing the marquee. We will be tier ranking live action Disney remakes, including Little Mermaid and the Peter Pan and Wendy that just came out on Disney Plus. So stay tuned for that. That should be a lot of fun because it's going to be hard to put some stuff in S tier. I'm just saying. Something's going to go S tier. Something has to go S tier. At least 2 movies have to go S tier according to the rules. So this will be a lot of fun. So that will be on Friday. Otherwise, I think that's it for right now. I'll do a review for The Boogeyman, a spoiler-free review that should be up Wednesday of next week. So be on the lookout for that during the day on Wednesday. And then I'm probably going to go see The Machine at some point, and I'll probably do a review for that as well after seeing that. I'm just not sure when I'll see that movie. But
yeah, that one I'll probably, if I get around to seeing it, I will probably have to wait for a streaming service of some kind for myself.
And also some kind of acknowledgement as to how bloody and violent that movie actually may be.
You know that movie's going to have some kind of goofy, funny, like, oh, really gory death played for laughs. Then I'm going to be like, pass.
So I'm thinking this is the type of movie where someone's penis is probably going to get ripped off and there's going to be jokes about it probably throughout the whole movie because this seems like the type of movie that would do that.
21 Jump Street?
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Oh.
Anyways, so that's going to do it for a tagline tonight. Thank y'all, those of y'all who are here live. Thank y'all for being here watching. If you're watching this on a replay, thank you for watching on a replay. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments while you're down there. Also, hit the like button and subscribe. This channel is growing very nicely. I know for the past week or so, we've kind of had to fall off on trailer reactions. Just haven't had the time. A lot of stuff going on personally.
They hit on the wrong days.
Yeah. But we will get to those as they come out. I know that there is another Ninja Turtles trailer coming out probably within the next week, I believe.
Yep.
So that one I definitely want to get to as well. So be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, you follow us at The Cinefanatics on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me personally at Robert Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and youtube.com/@RobertAdamsMLP.
You can follow me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/ChrisAdamsMLP.
And anyways, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank y'all for watching. We will see y'all tomorrow on The Little Mermaid. Good night.